Okay, so this is a short experiment to show essential oils and their uses and why it is that some people say you cannot use them internally. For this experiment, I have olive oil, just a simple olive oil as a carrier oil, wine in the middle, so I have an alcohol base to hopefully emulsify the oils in, and honey, which is generally what they use when trying to take something internally. I will be using frankincense in the actual testing because I can still end up using it. I love the smell and I can use it with the oils when I'm done. With the carrier oil, that is. I don't want to put the alcohol stuff on topically, although I guess it works. I also have lemon oil and lavender oil. I will be using those to test what happens on the skin so you can get an idea as to what happens inside if you ingest them. We're going to begin by mixing the frankincense. I'm going to put 3 drops in each, or approximately 3 drops. If you look carefully, you still can't see any oil in there. It's completely mixed in with the oil, and that is generally what you want with essential oils, because then it's not getting applied in just one spot. It's actually getting applied over the entire area in an even mixture. Now for the wine. I am going to say that it's probably going to emulsify, but it's going to float on the surface. You could try rubbing alcohol with this so you could see it better, but nope, too much. So if you notice in the light, there are pockets there, right there and there. That's because that's where the essential oil is sitting. It hasn't even emulsified. Mix it up a little bit. See if there's any change. If you notice, it looks like oil from a semi-truck. There is still something sitting on the surface. It didn't mix in, it didn't really emulsify either. Now to check the honey and see what the honey does. I don't know if you can see it. Let me bring it to some more light so you can. If you notice, it's turning out kind of stringy. That's because the oils are mixed in with the honey and they're not combining and mixing very well. You see how it's not really dripping. There goes drip. It's actually it's handling differently. Here's why this is a problem. I don't really want to do this, but I'm going to have to. You're not supposed to apply them neat because it can cause a reaction. Don't try this at home. My finger is starting to feel a little cool. Like peppermint in the eyes or something. It smells good. Yeah, now it's starting to tingle. You don't want to do that. Don't apply neat oils on the skin. It's just not a good idea. There are some oils like lavender that are generally okay if you use them sparingly. Oh, and I have used lavender before on the skin. Neat. It tends to wear off fast enough, so it's probably not that much of an issue, but it isn't a good idea. The one you get a reaction from the most, and it's the one that I've had a reaction from really bad, is cloves and cinnamon. But because I have had a reaction to those, I do not want to apply them neat. It's not a good, I just don't want to do that. It's not safe. So I'm going to use lemon oil in its place. You want to be careful not to expose lemon oil to light, sunlight in particular, because it photosynthesizes and it can make it go bad really fast. Let me put this down here. I'm going to try to put it on a separate finger. Shake it off. It's starting to turn red already, if you notice. It's not very easy to see. Starting to blister as well. See that? You don't want to apply it neat. Not a good idea. Now, back to the bases that we use to mix the oils in. If they didn't mix in very well, and were not mixed uniformly, you have a danger of them being concentrated in a specific area. And when you do that, you can get it to blister on your insides rather than just on the outside of the skin. When it blisters on the inside, you have a risk of infection and creating more trouble than is good. In certain instances and circumstances, it is probably okay. I have heard that they use essential oils in vodka as mouthwash to kill certain things. But when you think about it, if those oils will kill something in your mouth that way, it is probably not the safest idea to ingest it, because it could blister inside, it could create other problems inside. Now if it's in your food and mixed really well, like with this oil, you can look in there. It's well mixed. There's not, like, you can't see a distinct separation of the oils because they're both oil composites and they mix really well. So yeah, if you were to use this in food, it would probably be okay, but I wouldn't recommend more than 1 drop in an entire teaspoon for that. It's all it would take. And if you're using it in food, you would have to be careful. If you're heating it up, you're going to destroy the properties anyways, and you might as well forget it. It's just there for the flavor. That's all.